Hey guys, so I said I was going to do more sorority related videos, and this is going to be one of them. I basically want to do pretty much a what things to do when you plan on joining a sorority type video. This topic came to my mind when I went to intake orientation, and it's just changed so much since freshman year when I did it. It's a lot of different itineraries and programs, and just the way that they do things. I think it makes it feel kind of rushed, and you don't really have time to sit and talk to people like you used to, or you're talking to them and you're in a group and you're afraid to ask questions because you're in a group and you don't want to be that girl that's like talking to one sorority for people to think that you're interested in it, and it just makes people nervous and stuff like that. So I decided that I was going to do like a mini video with my advice as far as things to do when you plan on joining a sorority. And I want to say that it's pretty relevant because it wasn't that long ago when I joined a sorority. I crossed in 2012. Ooh, well, maybe it was a long time. It's like 4 years. Anyways, I'm still heavily involved in Greek life because I am part of the graduate chapter, so I do advise undergrad from time to time. So if you're interested in things you should and shouldn't do when you want to join a sorority, keep watching this video. So it's not in any particular order, just some things that I thought about and I think would be very important to mention. Let me just say that all of my opinions are my own and do not necessarily reflect my sorority or my chapter, undergrad or graduate. Just things that I feel relate to the topic at hand. First things first, do your research before you join or declare the organization that you want to join. I say do your research because a lot of people don't know what's out there for them, or you have, and I'm not speaking particularly on any sorority in general, I've just noticed this with NPHC and NPC sororities, is when they have legacies, which are people, it's either your mom, your aunt, immediate family, I want to say, that's a part of a sorority. People who are legacies are considered like close relatives. So what I've noticed with that is if you're a legacy, people expect you to join that particular sorority, and that might not be the case. You might think that you're one of these sorority members when really you could be another sorority member, like a potential sorority member. Like that sorority might not be for you. What they did way back when in the 1990s might not have the same values that they had in 2015, 16. Just saying. I'm just saying. But I still think that it's worth looking into for sure. Look into that legacy organization, but also look and see what else is out there, because it might be something else out there for you. So definitely do your research. One thing that I recommend that was told to me, I can't remember who told me, probably one of my older prophytes. I can't remember who told me this, but she told me that it's very important to, before you go to intake orientation, which is a little meeting that they have if you plan on joining a fraternity or sorority, she said to tell people that it's important to write down what your personal values are first. Like before you even go to intake orientation, write down your personal values first. Things that, like causes and programs that are near and dear to your heart, community service, events that are dear to your heart, and what's the other thing? Missions, not necessarily mission statements, but like topics that are very, very important to you. Make sure you write those things down first, and then I would recommend going to each of those individual sorority websites and seeing if what their values or mission statements are, if they align with the values that you already wrote down. Because you don't want to go to the website first and then say, oh, they're heavily into lupus, or oh, they're heavily into teaching youth and teaching the community, and then you try to make yourself fit into that category, which might not be what's for you. You might have to like see what else is out there before being like, oh, I definitely want to join this. No questions asked, like not even looking into it. You just, based off of face value, what you see, that's what you want to join. You can't do that. You have to do deep research, and sometimes it takes more than looking at the organizational website. You might have to go as far as looking into the individual chapters themselves, because just because the organization has a certain standard doesn't mean that the undergraduate chapters or graduate chapters are following that statement. there are some organizations out there that just do what they want to do. I'm just gonna be honest. Some people just do what they want, and they're not necessarily following in the footsteps of the ones that paved the way, if you get what I'm saying. Like, if you, and I went to an institution in undergrad that talked about this, and they basically said that if their founders were in charge of recruiting you, do you think that they'd let you into their organization? So if my founders of my sorority were recruiting people and they looked at me and what I had going on, do I think that they will let me join? Yeah, ask yourself sometimes. So that's why I say look at the individual chapters, see what they have going on, because they could not be at all following the protocols, programs, mission statement of the organization itself, which could impact you personally. So make sure you do that prior to joining. Another thing that I would recommend doing is being yourself 100%. I don't think that it's a good idea to try to change yourself or evolve yourself into being someone that you're not, just to please other people. I've never believed in that. And it's just important for you to be yourself, because you have something to bring to the table too. Your personality shines just like everyone else's personality shines. So don't think that you have to wear makeup or put your hair in a ponytail, or I don't know, with some crazy stuff that I've seen people do. I don't know. Just don't change yourself just to make yourself, don't make yourself into something that you're not, basically is what I'm saying. So if you were that person that was studious and went to class every day and didn't go out at night, don't think that you have to go out at night to be social all the time, 24/7, drinking, partying, just to catch up with people. Don't think you have to do that just to meet people or to seem social. Some people are just plain quiet, and it's the quiet people that are probably the most knowledgeable. So you don't have to go through all that just to make yourself known. Find that one person in that organization that you think you can talk to, and just talk to that girl. Because 9 times out of 10, people forget that even though we're in a sorority, we're still people. I'm in a sorority, but I'm still me. I'm still confident and outspoken and a little blunt. But that's not going to keep me from having a conversation with somebody who's not Greek. And I think a lot of people make that mistake, is they think that they can't talk to us because we're Greek or we're elite or we're on this platform that everybody's looking at. Yeah, there are higher standards for Greek life, but we're still people, and you can talk to us. It's okay. And if you're too scared to talk to us, there's Facebook. You can message us. Some of us will answer. I know I look at mine all the time. I can't really speak for everybody, but you just have to find somebody that you're comfortable in talking to and get to know that one person. Get their insight on the organization. Ask them questions. Don't ask them too many questions, because some stuff you have to wait for, like when they have, like, I don't know, when they teach classes on it. But you know what I'm saying. But basically, do that. Be yourself. And that segues into my next thing, where you seek them out. I think it's good for sororities to seek out people as well. Me personally, I'm the kind of person where if I see something in somebody, we have this guideline that we follow, where there are certain characteristics that you look for in a person if you want them to join your sorority. And I'm always looking for certain things that stand out. Like, I feel like I look at the programs in my sorority and be like, who's good at that, or who would be good at that? And then you start looking at people's backgrounds. When you really get to know people, you can see if they're a good fit into the organization or not, which is another thing that I like about recruitment or intake. The intake process is you get to know people on a personal level versus getting them all in a group and then rushing them through everybody. No, you get to know everybody on a personal level, and then if you want them to go forward, you just be like, hey, come to this meeting or come to this event. We're having this program. We're having this social event. Come check us out. And that makes people feel more comfortable too. And if you're interested in a sorority and you see that they have a program or a flyer out for an event, go to the event. I mean, it's not going to kill you to go see what they're about. And you can go to more than one sorority event. I wouldn't recommend going to 2 informational gatherings in the same night. Like, I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend going to everybody's informational gathering. I would recommend going to everyone's social events or going to their community service events, but I would not recommend going to everyone's informational gathering just because people talk and they are watching you and they might get the wrong idea. So just kind of make the right decision when it comes to that. Know for sure which one you want to join before you go to the informational gathering. Now, there are two types of informational gatherings. Let me be clear. There's the one that everybody can go to, and then there's the one that's specifically for if you want to join that organization. If you go to the one for everybody, that's fine. But don't go to the one that's specifically for that organization and then go to another one that's specifically for that organization. That's going to get you in trouble, and then it's just going to get you in trouble. So don't do that. But make sure you definitely watch what you're doing because people are watching you, which was my other point that I was going to make. Don't be that girl or that guy that everybody knows his name. Everybody knows what they do after hours. Like she's a mess when she goes out, or she's failing class but she wants to join this organization, or she's very, very friendly with the fraternity guys. You don't want to be that girl because that could end up hurting you in the long run, and that might not be the person that you are, but that's the personality that you give off. That's the kind of vibes that you give people. So I would recommend not being that person, keeping to yourself, keeping to your studies, and find that one person that you can talk to and not get in trouble like that. The other point that I would recommend doing is make sure that you're a part of other organizations. It's good when you're a well-rounded student that you're a part of another organization so that they can see that you're not only good at managing your time, but you have great social skills. You're dependable. You have leadership roles. There are certain skills that certain sororities and fraternities are looking for that you might have, and it could be brought out in those other organizations that you're part of. And they'll also be looking at your GPA too. Some minimum requirements for sororities is a 2.5 GPA, and I would say strive for higher because it looks better on paper for one. Two, it shows that you're serious about your academics as well as being a part of other organizations because you're a student first. Social life can come second, third, and fourth, but you came to school to learn. You didn't come to join a sorority or fraternity. So just make sure that if you're maintaining a GPA all through your college career and then you join a sorority and then your GPA drops, you need to reevaluate yourself because you didn't come there to be social. You came there to learn and to get your degree because that's what they're there for. But yeah, that is all the advice that I have for joining a sorority. If you guys have any further questions about that, feel free to put it in the comments below or message me directly if you have any questions. I know some people don't want to be like asking me questions. Like I said, you got those scary people that don't want to ask questions. But if you do have questions, just feel free to put them in the box. Like this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.